Hey guys, welcome back to Lavendaire. So hopefully you've heard that we are launching the 2020 Artist of Life workbook on November 1st. I'm so excited about it, but since we're in this launch season, I thought it'd be fun to share how I started my business and I guess the story of the business of Lavendaire. So I started Lavendaire spring of 2014, and so it's been over 5 years since I've started it. And when I started, it launched as a blog and a YouTube channel, and my main commitment was to post one video every week. So I posted a video every Wednesday, and that was my main thing that I focused on, was to be super consistent and to post a video on Wednesday no matter what. Because before Lavendaire, I had a music YouTube channel where I was very inconsistent with posting and it wasn't growing, and I was like, I think the thing I was lacking was the consistency. So when I launched Lavendaire, I did it really intentionally to be super consistent. This was when there weren't very many young people talking about self-help and personal growth on YouTube. It was such a strange, weird, niche topic. Like, most of the videos were like gaming, fashion, beauty, you know, the typical very popular stuff. And I just couldn't find people talking about personal growth or anyone that I can relate to. There were a certain like niche channels on spirituality, but I felt like that wasn't exactly what I was going for. So when I started, I had the intention of like mixing the styles that I liked from beauty, fashion, and lifestyle with more meaningful content about like finding your purpose, figuring out what you want to do with your life, topics that I was passionate about. So at the time, I gained a lot of knowledge just by reading books. I read a lot of self-help books written by older people, and there were self-help blogs online, but blogging was different from YouTube. So I felt like blogging was bigger back in the day, and I saw that there weren't as many people talking about it on YouTube. So to me, it was an opportunity to fill the gap, fill the need in some sort of way. So the first year of Lavendaire, it didn't grow very much. I think I grew maybe like 1,000 subscribers in the first year or something. No one was watching my videos, but I promised myself that I would be super, super consistent, posting a video every single week. And fast forward to the next year, 2015 was the year that I discovered KonMari. It was when The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, the book, just came out. I read it, I was inspired, and I documented my journey of like tidying my life. And I also made like folding videos. And I feel like the KonMari minimalism wave was the first like trend wave that I kind of got lucky and I hopped on, and that helped my channel grow a lot. I think there were times where certain topics were kind of waves, and I was lucky to catch a wave here and then. So the next year, in spring 2016, was the year I started the podcast, The Lavender Lifestyle. And I didn't really start it because I wanted to. It was because I was working with like an agency, and they recommended me start a podcast to practice my speaking. And so I was like, okay, sure, why not? No one's going to listen to this podcast. I'm just going to use it to practice like my speaking and storytelling. And that's how my podcast started. And back then, podcasting was like very niche, and there weren't as many like podcasts or podcast listeners as there is now. So it's just crazy to see how things have grown. 2016 was also the year that I did my first brand deal. And I remember feeling so legit, and it was for such a cheap price. But that's how it got started. And I remember end of 2016, I did a brand deal that paid a lot more than I expected. And I was like, whoa. And so after that brand deal in October 2016 was when I first felt like I had a legit income. And by legit income, I meant like I was making minimum wage from doing YouTube. So a lot of people are curious about this. So I would say it took me about 2 years to grow my channel to a place where it was making some sort of income. And that's 2 years of posting super consistently, not making money from YouTube at all, but just believing in myself, believing that eventually I will get there. And so that struggle, the first 2 years, is what I feel like where people give up. And if you can push yourself through those tough beginning years, then eventually you will see some momentum, and slowly but surely things might start picking up for you. Around the same time, fall of 2016 was when I got inspired to create the first ever Artist of Life workbook. So the idea started as just a digital PDF, a collection of exercises and journal prompts that I've done that have helped me in my life, helped me create my dream life, into like a digital PDF that I could sell. And I was really excited that this would be my first digital product, because it meant that I could have another stream of income, because I was trying to make YouTube my full-time career. So I was trying to do anything it took to make it work. So I launched the 2017 Artist of Life Workbook PDF at the end of 2016. And when I launched that, I got a lot of comments on my video saying I would love a physical version of this. And I saw the comments and I brought it up to Wilson, who works in manufacturing and sourcing. I was like, people want a physical version. Is it possible? Like, how long does it take to do it? So I started learning the process of like making a physical product. And I researched a lot of, I guess, manufacturers, even in US, UK, and in Asia. And for me, it was easier to just go through Wilson because he had the connects. Everyone that I reached out to either could not produce what I wanted in such a small quantity, because I only wanted to order like 100 physical workbooks. And so no one would do that small quantity, or they had like just weird restrictions like, oh, you can't custom 50 pages. You can only custom the first 10 pages and then the rest will be blank, and like just really weird stuff. So it was really hard to find someone to make it in the beginning. And in the end, I went through Wilson. Wilson helped me find a factory that didn't make stationery. They made like packaging gift boxes. So the people who make the workbook are not like stationery makers. It's just, when you go to China, you bring them an idea. They're like, okay, I think I can make this work. It's our first time making it. And then I had no other options. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. So the first version of the Artist of Life workbook was actually just a sample run. Sample run meaning like they did it for a favor, because it's such a small quantity that it's not like a real order. It's not a real purchase order for them. But still, I was so proud of it, and it was so cool to see what I designed digitally in physical form. I think that was the most magical feeling, the first time seeing my workbooks and just looking through the pages. And I'll be honest, that first version, the first workbook, was really shitty quality, and I still love it. I love the color, and the reason why it's so bad is because we didn't have that much time to make it. I didn't have time to be picky about the cover or the paper type or the font or any of that. I didn't even get to see it before I saw the shipment of 100 workbooks. I just gave them my design, gave them the general idea of what I wanted, and they made something, sent it to me, and that's what it was. But I'm so grateful for the people that bought that first version of the workbook, because you guys are my real OG followers, the real Lavi loves, and it was just so cool because I felt like that experience brought us together. Not only that, but after I created the workbook, I also created like the Facebook groups to go with it. So we had the Artist of Life community on Facebook, which is where I got to know a lot of you. I did live chats in the Facebook, and that was really fun. And if you purchased that first ever workbook, just know that I personally packed and shipped everything myself. I even like signed each one in like a little card. And so that was the most, I think all of my heart went into that one. So moving on, 2017 was the year that I officially registered Lavendaire as a business, because I had a product and I felt like, okay, I'm making some money. I feel kind of legit now. Let me make this official. And it was also the year that I started adding people to my team, like very part-time. So I started working with Alice, who is still my assistant. I love her. She started out as an intern, and then I loved her so much. I brought her on as like my first person to hire with Lavendaire. I remember writing like my first check and mailing it to her. And I also got a manager in 2017, and I hired a temporary podcast editor as well. So it was me learning to delegate a little bit in the beginning, and me learning to be like a real business. And of course, after the first run of the workbook, I knew I had to make it better quality, and I had more time to do so. So I put a lot of time and effort into making the 2018 Artist of Life workbook as pretty and aesthetic as possible. Instead of black and white pages, it was in color, and the cover was like a cute pink, and I handpicked the cover material, and then I did this amazing photo shoot with my friend Karen Rosalie. She really like blew me out of the water with her photos and how beautiful they looked. And I think I owe it to her and how pretty she made the workbook look. So that was like my pride and joy. The 2018 version also holds a very special place in my heart. So for the 2018 workbook, I started working with Wilson to help with logistics and shipping, because I could not physically ship like thousands of workbooks myself. So that's when we like hired people to do the packing and shipping. But there were a few days in the beginning where it was like me, my mom, my brother, and Wilson packing and shipping as many workbooks as we could before Christmas, because this was when there were like a lot of shipment delays, and I don't know. I was just learning about the headaches of a product business, how things never run on time, things get delayed, and you just have to deal with it. And then 2018, which was last year, I would say was my year of growing my team and learning to delegate, learning to be a leader. I added a new video editor and podcast editor to the team, as well as a graphic designer later in the year. And a lot of it was like me learning to work with people, because previously I did everything myself, editing everything. And so it was like a challenge for me to practice delegating, to be a leader, to let go of some creative freedom. And when you start working with someone new, the quality might not be at the level that you want it to be. So I felt like I had to sacrifice some quality. I had to invest a lot more time to just get out those little kinks. So 2018 was the year of me learning to manage and delegate and be more patient and learn that it's important to invest in yourself because it's worth it in the long run. During that year, I also got inspired to create a new daily planner. And I remember I had like my team members test it out for a few months before we finished the design to make it. And so that's when we launched the new daily planner with the new 2019 Artist of Life workbook. And these 2019 versions are also my favorite because of the quality of the cover material. Like when I picked the material, it felt so plush and soft. It was such a good sensorial feeling to the fingertips that I was like, oh my God, this is so high quality and amazing. So I'm so proud of that version. And we also added those new white cardboard boxes to go with the workbook and the planner. Previously, they were just packaged in plastic, and I'm trying to move away from plastic as much as possible. So we created those new gift boxes that are so cute. I'm tooting my own horn, but I am really proud of them. And then we also had our first Lavendaire launch event for the 2019 workbook and planner. And that was really fun. It was a cute little event in Fullerton, and we had self-care workshops. We had artsy, creative doodling workshops you could do on the side. We had a watercolorist there to paint portraits of people, and I spoke, my friend spoke. The best part was getting to meet a lot of Lavi loves at that event, and I feel like meeting you guys and then connecting with you on social media, I feel like you're my friends. I really know you guys, and it's just a different experience because I'm so used to communicating just, online. And finally, we've made it to 2019, and this is the year that I launched my first online course, the Create Your Dream Life course. If you haven't heard of it, I'll link it down below so you can check it out. And I also spent a good amount of time this year working on the pastel notebooks, which are also out right now. And of course, working on the new version of the 2020 Artist of Life workbook, which will come in 2 colors this year, lavender and gray. So 2020 to me is the year. Because it's such a beautiful year, the number 2020, I needed to make that one lavender. And I also wanted to offer the workbook in 2 colors because we've had complaints and comments that, the colors are too feminine. I mean, Lavendaire is a feminine brand, but I'll give it to you. I'll make a more gender neutral color for you guys. But that's basically it. And moving forward, there are a couple other projects that I still want to work on. I want to create Lavendaire jewelry, just minimal, really cute jewelry that reminds you that you're an artist of life. And of course, I want to write a book. That is a huge life goal of mine that I've just been tackling and just going on and off about, but it's definitely something that I want to accomplish. So I hope this gave you a clearer picture on the story of Lavendaire, how everything progressed over time. I always get a lot of people asking me how do you do it all? How do you do so much? And the secret behind it is I'm not doing it all at once. I really did things one at a time. It was first the YouTube, then I started a podcast. Then once I felt I was comfortable with that, I launched a product, and then slowly you reiterate your product. And then when you feel like you've got a hold on everything you are doing, then you add something new, and then you launch something new. And so I just try to plan out my timeline, working on one project at a time, one new project at a time, so that I'm not too overwhelmed. And for anyone who's working on building a content creator career, I highly recommend you come out with your own product, whether it's digital or physical, because you get to control that source of income. Because AdSense or brand deals are sources of income that are great, but can be unreliable. You can't always promise that it's going to be the same amount. It's always going to be there, because literally if you look at my YouTube analytics, the graphs are up and down, up and down. I have good times in my channel. I have low times and bad times in my channel, and that's normal. You know, your business is going to have ups and downs, but it's up to you. Like, focus on what you can control, focus on what you can create, and with that, you have more say in your income and your career and your business. Let me know if you like this video, and if you have any other questions for me regarding business and entrepreneurship. Let me know if you'd rather see me make a video on like lessons I've learned from business, or maybe mistakes I've made in business, or maybe like a what I wish I knew before I started. Those are like ideas that I have in my head, but I don't know if you guys are interested in that. Let me know down below, or give this video a thumbs up just so I know you like this type of content. All right, sending you so much love, and don't forget to check on November 1st at our shop for the launch of the 2020 Artist of Life workbook, the best version yet. All right, love you so much. Bye.